Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back to the Uncle Sharma channel, here today for a news update. Yes, I know it's Derby della Madonnina week, it's Milan Derby week, but bear with me. Today's news is too good to turn down and not make a video about it. And we have other news to discuss that's going on in the world of Inter. This is not a Milan Derby preview, so I know everyone wants to talk about the Milan derby, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. I'm still trying to line up potentially a Milan or a Milan fan as a guest. So it's just give me a chance tomorrow. We'll see, and obviously keep a lookout for mine and Anthony Inter Worldwide's channel for that. But yeah, what's good? Who is in the house, guys? Quickly, it's not going to be a long stream. We got Biggie in the house. It has been a while, brother. You were one of the undying faithfuls, always guaranteed in the streams, but recently you haven't been. But all good, brother, all good. As long as you're watching the replays, it's all good, and as long as you're leaving that thumbs up and you're spreading the word about the channel, that's all good. Who else is in the house? We got my guy Smiley, king of gifs or gifs, however you want to say it, my brother. And he obviously enjoyed Handanovic making the who scored team of the month for Serie A. That was funny. Yes, now Biggie, this week it is that type of energy. We're going on that F Milan fans type of energy, but you know my channel, I like to bring on people from all walks, all different supporters and stuff like that. But yeah, getting into today's video, guys, the Nicolo Barella official renewal. The guy has signed the thing, another one, as DJ Khaled would say, as I've put in the thumbnail, another one. First it was Lautaro. Today, we've been talking about it for weeks, that it's done, it's almost done. Auxilio said it, Marotta said it, Barella, Ella, Sharif, nice one. So let me bring it up on the screen. Barella on the official Inter website. There's no more speculation. This is Nicolo Barella. He doesn't look over the moon, but we know what Barella looks like most of the time. He just looks like he's a funny character. But here he is signing the new contract. FC Internazionale Milano is delighted to announce that Nicolo Barella has signed a contract extension with the club. The 24-year-old midfielder's new deal will run until 30th of June 2026. Fantastico, magnifico. Every object, over any type of word to describe is perfect, is needed. And Barella, of course, rumored to be in line to be the next captain. I don't know what you guys make of that. We've discussed it on the channel in the past. Who should be the next captain. For me, it's always been Milan Skriniar. For me, he should be the next one in line for what he's done in terms of the way he renewed his contract last time around, in terms of how long he's been at the club, seniority wise, in terms of his age as well, in terms of the leadership that he shows on the pitch as well. So for me, is Milan Skriniar. But as I've always said, I'm not against them giving it to Barella if this is what convinces Barella to stay. If this is, they're saying that this new project of Inter, the post Conte, the post potentially post Suning project is going to be entrusted to you, Nicolo. You're the guy to lead us. Then I'm not against it, but I just feel like he's not quite ready for it, in my opinion. But he's for his age, is very mature, 24 years old. We know he's got those little temperamental things here and there. And contract wise, so he's going to be earning 4.5 million euros this season, and from next season he'll start earning 5 million plus bonuses. So the money that he deserves. So Auxilio, Marotta, everyone's made sure to, the way they framed his renewal and Lautaro's was, it's not a contract renewal, it's a kind of a reward more than a renewal, really, because they still had a while left on their contract. Lautaro still had 2 years, Barella still had more than 2 years. So it was more about making sure that these guys stay, making sure that these guys are happy, and obviously earning what they deserve to be earning, really. Especially Lautaro and Barella, two guys that were on the Ballon d'Or shortlist, the 30-man shortlist guy. One has won the Copa America, one has won the Euros, one was Serie A midfielder of the year, the other was instrumental for Inter as well, 17 non-penalty goals. So it just makes sense for this renewal. for this extension, let's call it. Whereas when we talk about Brozovic, when we'll talk about it in a minute, Brozovic is a renewal because his one is really finishing. It needs to be renewed now. It will be like, giving him a new contract because this one is literally finishing. So on brand new terms. But yeah, Barella wanted to quickly touch upon, some of the things that he's improved on this season and why it's so vital that we have signed him up for another 5 years. When you look at this is FBref website, great website used for statistics and all that kind of stuff. If we look at this season in Serie A, 2021-2022, for player goal and shot creation, and I've filtered it down from shot creation, Nicolo Barella, and this is where he's improved this season under Inzaghi. He has 46 total shot creation, so he ranks third after Antonio Candreva, who's been balling out. No doubts about it for Sampdoria, still at 34 years of age. So shouts out to Anthony Candrew, Tony Candreva, the Candyman, and Lorenzo Pellegrini, who's had an amazing start of the season under Mourinho. So Barella is doing really, really well. More shots created than Malinovsky, then Insigne, Veretout, Felipe Anderson, Fabian Ruiz, Zaniolo, Dybala. So he is in the top 3 in terms of shot creation, and per 90 shot creation per 90, he is where is he? He's a little bit lower. He's 14th per 90, but compared to some other players like the likes of Rebic, Bayrami, all these guys, they don't usually complete 90 minutes, so it's a little bit skewed in terms of the actual 90s. Yeah, so you see 90s completed. He's not going to be up there, but yeah, he's it's a little bit skewed in terms of that. And when it comes to goal creating action, another key one. This is another one where he's improved this season. He's top in the whole league. He's got the most goal creating actions in the whole league, 9. So he's been involved in 9 goal creating actions. Which is amazing. This is what we asked from him, isn't it? In the last few seasons, we know he had this improvement in him. Great passing, great at tackling, great at getting involved. But that final product, can he improve on that? And he's already improved on that a lot this season. And goal creating actions per 90, where is he? 6th, 0.87 per 90, which is really, really high. Only beaten by Ivan Ilic, Hellas Verona, Hriving Lozano. Again, he's a guy who hasn't completed many 90 minutes, and Ilicic as well, and Ansaldi and Caprari. So when you look at it, actually, for the amount of minutes he plays, only him and Immobile really, you can say, are bona fide, goal creating action machines this season. So vital signing. But we know this guy is on the way to becoming one of the best midfielders in the world for sure. Let's see some more of your comments. Future says, interesting how all of these contract rumors come up right before the derby. F these newspapers. Very good point, Future Hendricks. Very good point. And I was going to make that point, actually, especially regarding Brozovic's contract, which we can move on to now. We can talk about Brozovic's contract because it's funny, isn't it? We're in early November, and now somehow the Brozovic situation is just blowing up on newspapers. Yesterday, I read one that was saying that it's going to be a miracle, or it will take a miracle for Inter to renew Brozovic. Another paper said that, it's a very difficult situation. How are they going to do it? But on the other hand, who else they're not talking about? Paulo Dybala. His contract is, he's asking for like 10 million net. Why they're not talking about Paulo Dybala right now, who is probably even a bigger, deal, the bigger deal for Juventus in terms of renewal. Frank Kessie, why they're not talking about Frank Kessie at the moment? And this Brozovic situation is blowing up. You just know this is what they do, because this is what sells. Inter news sells, especially negative Inter news sells. And yeah, this is now the news that they're pushing at the moment, that Inter are going to struggle to lock down Brozovic. Inter are struggling to find an agreement with Brozovic, all that kind of stuff. But as we've spoken about it on this channel, I have positive feelings about the Brozovic renewal. As Matthew Babb says here, we just need him to sign and we'll be golden. I think these 3, we've got, Barella and Brozovic, and I think, we've got Barella and Lautaro, and Brozovic will complete the trio, the trinity of the most important ones to sort out this season. Why suburban kid is being a little bit bit extra hearty, a little bit extra emotional with it. He says if Brozo leaves Inter, it might be done with club football. Chill out, man. Chill out. Like it's not that deep if Brozovic leaves. As we've seen Lukaku leaving, Hakimi leaving in the past. Great players have left Inter. Let's not exaggerate too much. Of course, he's a very key player. Alexander says Brozovic's situation seems a little uncertain for now. Hope Marotenko will solve it right because we need him. Exactly. Inzaghi, the midfield whisperer. Yes, Brozovic is another one who's improved under Inzaghi, you could say. In terms of how he started the season, I feel like this is the best start to a season he's had. He's just been consistently, obviously, everyone has matches here and there that were not that good, but I feel like consistently this has been his best start of a season that we've had, even better than the one here under Conte. Great job. On to the next one. We got to lock in Brozo, as Shanyo says. They add 1 million Brozovic to the demand. Yeah, they keep just changing the Brozovic demands every single day. Mystic River, greetings from Italy. Ciao, Mystic River. Let me pull up the articles regarding Brozovic and actually explain to you why it is a little bit true that there are the issues with the Brozovic renewal. As I've spoken to you guys before, the issue with the Brozovic renewal is that he's actually chosen his dad is actually his representative, or he hasn't actually got a proper agent, so he's gone a little bit in house. So he's not the most professional, I guess, so to say. His dad's not going to have other clients. I'm guessing it's just he's probably just has his personal number. He doesn't have an office, or he doesn't have a secretary to get in touch with, or make an appointment with. And that's what Dimarco says. Inter were kind of unsure about. It sounds funny and it sounds weird to say, but he says the club didn't know who the right person was to speak to in his entourage to find the agreement. So Di Marzio here says deadline and performances make the renewal essential. Yeah, his performances are definitely making it very, very essential. The dialogues continue. Inter did not understand who they should speak to as an agent, but now the situation is clearer, and Inter will try to finish this operation too after the Barella deal. And they actually gave a little, on the Barella deal, they said it's been done for a few weeks. They talked about how he deserved it. He will earn about 5 million plus bonuses. The agreement had already been in place for some time from Kiev. So this is this since we played Shakhtar, I believe. So that was last month when Ozilio and Beltrami were caught in the hotel. He was signed today. And then the other issue really with the Brozovic deal, and it's not a massive issue, but when you put it into perspective, he wants 30 million euros net over 4 years. So that works out as around 7.5 million net per year, which will make him, the highest. Well, that's his demand. That would make him the highest paid player at Inter, alongside Eriksen, more than Vidal and Sanchez. So that issue is gross. If you look at it on a gross amount of money that would cost Inter, that's 60 million over 4 years that would cost Inter. So that's that's quite expensive for Inter, especially right now, because obviously people always think of renewal as something easy because it's free. But how much money in terms of agent fees does his dad want? Does he want a sign-on fee, which is very, very normal for agents to want, and for especially if it's his dad? I think Brozovic would push for his dad to have some sort of signing on fee or some sort of fee like that. So how many million would that be? And then when you think about it, how Inter thing now with a cut budget, let's say, I'm going to use this as an example, but I'm not saying that this is what Inter should do, but I'm saying this is the possible thinking that Inter have to do in terms of budget. So if you buy, let's say how Milan bought Sandro Tonali. Milan bought Sandro Tonali for around about 30 million, but it was like a 10 million euro loan, and then around 15 million to redeem. But the actual cost on the books of Tonali is only around 4 million per season, because he only earns around 1.2, 1.5 million net. So he only gross wages, he only earns around 2.5, 3 million gross wages and the cost of his actual the way the contract is played over 5 years is quite a low, only around 4 or 5 million on the books yearly cost of Tonali to AC Milan. So that's the thing. So if you lose Brozovic now on a free, Inter need to find the right replacement for we can't talk about the expensive guys. We can't talk about the Ndidis or the, I don't know, whoever you want to put, the Ruben Neves or all these kind of expensive Premier League guys. You have to talk about someone that you can buy for around about 20-25 million, have a contained wage. That's that would be the replacement, and that's the issue with Brozovic. In the past, I've always said that I love Brozovic. He's one of my favorite players, but I feel like that is a position where you could possibly upgrade in. But when you actually think about it, when you practically go on the market and you think, who can replace Brozovic? And then you see the amount of money that player would cost you to replace Brozovic, then it becomes really expensive, and it becomes counterproductive or counterintuitive in terms of it probably just makes sense to renew Brozovic, especially he's still he's what, 28 years old, going to be 29. He's not that old. And apparently the disagreement with Inter is that at the moment Inter are offering him 5 million net and a 3-year contract, whereas he wants around 7 million net and a 4-year contract, which obviously he's trying to secure his future is for his family. So fair play to Brozovic. But the feeling coming out now, the last day or so, it was quite negative. Some of the reports coming out, as I said, I feel like they'll kind of be sensationalized a little bit over the top. But as we've said, Brozovic is very well settled in Milan. He's been here for a long time. He's never really talked about or seemed to indicate that he wants an adventure anywhere else. And the fact that his dad is his agent shows that to me, because usually if he wanted to move, he would have got one of the super agents or a good agent, like a proper agent. He would have gone to I don't know, Mino Raiola or whatever. But he's chosen to stay with his dad because that shows that he probably just wants to stay. He's not looking to leave. So all those things to me point to the fact that he wants to stay. So I'm confident that he's going to renew. I think Inter are going to find a middle ground, as we did with Lautaro. I remember at the beginning of the Lautaro renewals, they were talking about, Lautaro's wanting 7-8 million. He wants like Lukaku money. But I always said, I'm sure they'll find a middle point around the 6 million euros, and they did in the end. And I feel like here, once again, Brozovic wants 7.5, Inter offering 5. I think in the end they'll end up at a middle ground with the 4-year contract that Brozovic wants, but at 5.5, 6, maybe doing some bonuses where we'll take him to the point that he wants to go. And I think that's the smart thing to do now. The way he's performing and the way that, as I said, when you look at the transfer market, yes, you could maybe find a replacement for Brozovic, like how I keep going to Milan because how they've done it recently. Ismail Benacer, another very smart buy. 12 million euros. He was very small salary once again, but with the Benacer, it's taken him a year or 2 years now to get to a good level. But he's also been injury prone. Tonali took him a year. Now this year he's starting to show his level. Do Inter have that time for someone to get a younger player in, try to get him up to speed, get him up to a level, give him experience, give him playing time? We don't. We're trying to get past group stage of Champions League. We're still trying to challenge for the Scudetto. We're not at that point where we're still just going for top 4. At the moment where we are right now, we need ready-made players, and ready-made players are very, very expensive. And also, of course, with Brozovic, you have to think about the Spurs are now linked, as we said. The Conte being there, of course, they're going to be linking him with Spurs now that Conte is there. But I think Kessie is going to go there, so I don't think Spurs are going to be much of a threat, in my opinion. And there's also PSG apparently, but again, I'm not sure about PSG, but they are being free transfer merchants at the moment recently. Yeah, and as I said in my video reacting to Conte, guys, every single Inter player that's decent is going to be linked with Conte. So we'll see. No, Van de Beek is a completely different position. He's a, he would be the Mezzala. If you're talking about Van de Beek, we're talking about, the Hakan position, the left centre mid, the Vidal position, the Gagliardini position. When we're talking about completely different type of player there. I mean, yeah, of course, he deserves a higher salary than Hakan, that's for sure. But I don't know why everyone's using the Hakan salary now as the beating stick. Vidal's right there earning like 7 million. Sanchez is right there earning 7 million as well. So, there's other players as well that they've come in and earned big salaries that maybe don't deserve it to be that high. Imagine Challenge scoring in the derby. Yeah, of course, Deshaun. That's my dream. I just want him to go in front of the Curva Sud, in front of the Milan fans, and just celebrate like Adebayor style in front of them after scoring like a free kick or a shot outside the box. That would just make my day, make my week, make my year. Yeah, we can move on to the other news now in terms of the other guys that are now in line. So Dimarco, who is he only earns around 500k, like he's on a very low salary at the moment. So his one is a renew. Once again, he's more of like a reward for his performances, like what he did with Hellas Verona last year. Increased demand now. This guy is becoming a inter-level player right now, so he deserves an inter-level salary. However, today there was a report saying that his agent was asking for something a little bit too high. Inter are thinking of giving him around 1.5 million net, which sounds about right. He was almost sold in the summer to raise funds for incoming transfers, but now he's an important element of the squad. The financial request of Dimarco has surprised Inter, but they still feel that a deal can be struck in the near future. It's not clear what the new wage for the player will be. Yeah, and that's the thing, that's what players hire agents for. The agent's going to ask for a higher salary. He's going to go into the room and put his balls on the table and say, I want 3 million, and the Inter will be like, are you sure, buddy? So that's completely normal. Initial negotiations, the guy's going to ask for probably double what he deserves or wants, just to be cheeky, just to see what he can get away with. And yeah, in the end, they'll find an agreement. And Dimarco, Interista through and through, hasn't really achieved much yet, so he's not really in his place to ask for too much either. But that's another one that I'm sure that will get done soon. And then after that, yeah, as Eminem says here, no, Bastoni's been extended. Bastoni, we extended it this last summer, if you forgot. So Bastoni's one, luckily, has been done. He's earning now around 2.5 million. So he's been nicely rewarded for his performance last year. The other ones, yes, De Vrij isn't the other important one to have a look at. Inter need to make a decision really on the De Vrij one. I don't think you don't have to renew that one, because as we've said in the past, that's probably one where if you can make money in terms of he was a free transfer, you fully amortize his cost. And there's if there's possibilities, 29 is going to be 30 years old. If there's possibility to make some money on De Vrij because of our financial situation, and if Mino Raiola being his agent, if he's going to ask for too much money and he's going to ask for a massive commission and all that kind of stuff, that's probably one that you could sacrifice potentially. But if De Vrij wants to stay, if the demands are in line with what we can afford, Mino Raiola is not a pain in the ass. That one should be done as well. Skriniar, of course, he's still got 2 years left on his contract, so it's fine. It's important to that start looking at that and open the conversations with that, but more towards the end of this towards the summer, so it's not pushing as important as this Brozovic one was. And because he's earning around 2.5 3 million as well, so he's not being underpaid right now too much, but obviously he needs to be rightly paid, like in line with other top defenders around Europe. And yeah, that's of course when you're raising the salary. That's why I said this summer for Marotta is going to be super difficult summer for Marotta in terms of how he's going to keep everyone happy, because the salaries are going up, but Inter want to reduce the salary, the whole team salary. They want to reduce it at the moment because of the issues going on. But because of how the players are performing and how they deserve it, the salaries are actually going up. But at the same time, Vidal's contract expires in this summer, so his big salary will be leaving. Ericsson would probably, I know we're not paying a salary at the moment technically, but his one would probably be off the books. We'll see what happens with Sanchez, another hefty salary. So at the same time, there's hefty salaries coming off the books anyway. So we'll see how that works out. And then there's also the less important ones, but also just as important in terms of squad players, Ranocchia and D'Ambrosio, who already renewed this past summer, but it was just a 1-year renewal, and they cut their salary as well, actually. But are they going to be happy? Are they going to have to cut the salary again? Are they going to be happy to cut it again if they're asked to do it? Is it going to be another 1-year renewal? I think those ones will be done much easier. Again, D'Ambrosio and Ranocchia, they're kind of going towards the end of their careers. I think they'll be fine to just renew, maybe at current terms or even at reduced terms. But I think they'll be fine. But those are other ones that are important because you can't get rid of these squad players because then you have to spend money to buy more squad players. So until these guys are usable and do a job for you, you should keep them. Yeah, Eduardo, as you said, a lot of gossip at the moment in terms of a lot of stuff. So don't believe everything that you read about the contract situation. How do I feel about Bastoni? Adrian asks on ESPN. They were talking about that Conte might go and try to get Bastoni. I'm so irritated about the rumors from Tottenham. Yeah, I talked about Bastoni in my Conte reaction video the other day, and I said, Bastoni is such a unique profile at the moment in world football. It's he a left-footed centre back, which is rare. A good left-footed centre back, which is even more rare. Young, athletic, good defensively, really good on the ball. He's goal dust, so he's going to be a man in demand. And in that Spurs team, at the moment, yesterday when I watched Conte's first match, Ben Davies was playing there. Adapted left centre back. So there's definitely a gap in that. So I wouldn't be surprised if he comes for Bastoni. But that's the situation, guys. These guys are in demand, and if we get the right offer, Inter at the moment, unfortunately, would have to sell. But with Bastoni, in my opinion, it would have to be close to a world record fee. It'd have to get close to Ruben Diaz money, Van Dijk money, Maguire money, because it's such a unique, rare profile that it would have to be something really, really expensive. Yeah, I have a good feeling about the Milan match at the moment, but we'll talk about it tomorrow in the preview. Bastoni expires in 2024, I think. Yeah, I can't remember exactly what the. Let's have a quick look, actually. But don't worry about Bastoni yet, brother. He literally renewed this past summer. So Bastoni, yeah, 2024. So he had I'm guessing a three-year renewal. So nothing pressing at the moment for Bastoni. Yeah, we've seen the rise. He's had a few shaky performances, but also, as we've said, he's become more of a part of the Netherlands team as well. So he has been playing more football than in previous seasons, and he hasn't been getting too much rest. But I don't think we can get 40 million for De Vrij because of his expiring contract and his age. And I think the only team that was seriously interested in him was Everton. And yeah, they're not the most rich of all the Premier League teams. They're probably the poorest at the moment. They've had some FFP issues. Yeah, Tommy, you missed just the beginning of the stream, but obviously you can go back and check it out if you want. Thoughts on how Conte will Spurs? Yeah, I've made a video on that, guys. If you want to check it out, a few days ago on my channel. I think you'll do well. But Conte is just as guaranteed of success as you can get in football, in my opinion. It just depends on Daniel Levy, Paratici, how much are they going to back him in the transfer market. And if I was an owner of football, I would throw whatever money I have to give Conte what he wants if I own a team, I would just give him anything he wants, because that guy would bring you titles. And if he brings titles to Spurs as well, like he's goated, man. He's goated. Did you see the Lazzari goal for what? For who? Lazzari, the Lazio player. If you let me know, Tommy, who you're talking about. I can't read that name, but thank you. We need to renew Brozovic contract ASAP. He wants the same amount of money as Hakan, which is more than fair. No, he wants more than Hakan. Let's not like spread this narrative that he wants more than Hakan. He wants 7.5 million. He wants to be the highest paid in the team at the moment, apparently. But yeah, he deserves at least the same as Hakan for sure, and more than Hakan for sure. Let's not lie about that for sure. But the thing about Hakan is that's what happens when you sign free transfers. You have to pay a little bit more than you would have to normally because it's a free transfer. So I wouldn't look at that too much, and that's the reason for why Vidal is so highly paid and Sanchez is so highly paid. No, we wouldn't get that money, man, for De Vrij. Unfortunately, he doesn't have that mark. He doesn't have that. He just doesn't have that juice, unfortunately. Although he is, Serie A Defender of the Year just 2 seasons ago, and in general just been consistently one of the best defenders in the league. He just doesn't have that. I don't know what it is. He just doesn't have that marketability. De Vrij. You'd be lucky to get like 30 million for De Vrij. And for 30 million pounds, I would be tempted to sell, to be honest, at his age. But isn't Tottenham like in bigger debt than Inter in any way? Yeah, but that doesn't really matter. It's because their revenues are so high, they're able to cover and repay the debt. The issue isn't debt. Like Barcelona are in massive debt, Real Madrid are in massive debt, all the big clubs are in massive debt. United are in massive debt because most of these clubs are they're not funded by straight up cash. They're funded by loans and bonds. But it's most of these, especially Premier League clubs, they have so much revenue. They're able to. There's the cash flow, and that's the issue that Inter are having at the moment. It's not just the debt. Inter are unable to, Suning are unable to pump capital into Inter. That's the issue. Oh, you meant Lazaro? Oh no, I haven't seen his goal. Might have to check it out if it's worth checking out. And yeah, the last news I wanted to cover was regarding the stadium. There's been another update today regarding the stadium news here on Sempre Inter as translated. The municipality of Milan has confirmed that the resolution of public interest in the new San Siro has been approved. As reported by FC Inter News today, a statement was released by the municipality of Milan confirming the public interest. This is excellent news for Inter and AC Milan as it represents clear progress towards a new stadium that can allow them to increase the matchday revenue. As we know, we've talked about it so much on here. It is not as simple as a green light, though. So it's not the final approval that we need, as there are 3 conditions that must be met to assure continued public interest in the project. We spoke about that last time, the size, the commitment to greenery, where it is, how it's made, how it's, built, all that kind of stuff. But there's been more progress and there's been more details released around how it will be kind of financed. So it will be 90% financed through a loan. So it'll be about 1 billion will be financed by a loan, and then Inter and the rest, the 10%, Inter and AC Milan have to put 50-50 some capital down, and then it'll be a 30-year loan of that 1 billion. So we'll see. But in terms of when they're starting to build it, it still won't be until about 2023 probably. So yeah, it's still going to be a long time, I think, till they're going to start building it. But it's slow, snail steps that we're getting there. Puskas contender easily. Are you talking about the one he scored last season, the Scorpion kick, or did he score like another new one that's like Puskas contender? Because I remember last season for Gladbach he scored a Scorpion kick that was, I don't know how they didn't win the Puskas award. Yeah, exactly. The valuation for Serie A players is just lower. Unfortunately, we can't get that type of money. Why can't they pump capital? Saad, I don't know if you've not kept up with the news for Suning, but they're just having a lot of financial issues in China. Yeah, so no, it will be. So yeah, San Siro will be torn down. San Siro will be demolished. You can check out some of my older live streams that they're talking about it more in detail. But yeah, San Siro will be demolished, and it will be built. I think it is built next to San Siro, so not on top of it where it is, but it's the current San Siro will be, the Meazza Stadium will be demolished, unfortunately. Yeah, Super League project is needed if you want to compete with the Premier League and all those guys. Yeah, San Siro will be gone. Well, San Siro is the name of the area and the stadium, and obviously Inter fans, we call it the Giuseppe Meazza Stadium. But yeah, it will be gone. it will be gone, unfortunately. So try to go there before 2020, before 2023. I'm guessing earliest. I'm saying because actually they said they has to be there. The San Siro has to be there for the opening of the Winter Olympics, which are being held in 2026. So the current San Siro is going to be there for a while, guys. So don't worry, you'll get enough time to go there. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for joining. Yes, Tommy, if you've never been, you have to go, bro. It's like a pilgrimage, football pilgrimage. You have to go at least once in your life to experience it. It's so good. Doesn't matter which match, it's just worth going to. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. News stream today, not too long. Tomorrow, Milan Derby stream, I promise. Proper preview. I'm trying to get a Milanista on the channel to preview it, but otherwise we'll just do it ourselves. So keep a lookout for tomorrow, UK time in the morning it will be. So early time for US guys and later on for the Asian guys. So yeah, we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Make sure you leave a thumbs up and subscribe. There's 32 of you in here. Make sure you're leaving a thumbs up before you leave. Ciao ragazzi. Forza Inter.